Hey guys, it's Iz.
Hello, it's Arlon.
Hey, it's Sam.
Hey, it's Robyn.
Hi, it's V.
Hey, it's Naj, and the quote of the day is from Hope. When I let my guard down, people disappoint me. You know?
Aww.
That's real.
You know? Yeah,
So
you know.
sad.
It is what it is. The cast.
Hello.
I don't feel good.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh,
Oh, you're
Oh,
wearing
that's
your
a
shirt on here.
Arlon must have
You're
new.
matching.
We're twinning.
yes.
Match twins. Oh no, Arlon don't deserve the match.
No, my
I'm gonna
God.
get mine in like,
Not
I'll
even-
get mine in like 2
I'm just
months.
sitting here, just
Go ahead. Doing what? You know?
nothing.
Hello.
Hello.
Vit late.
Yeah.
It was a little late.
She's still late.
She was okay because watch
No,
over
no,
me.
it's just,
Oh, she was.
okay. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi guys. I'm Jackson Stickrath. I'm pretty much just a core background on Legacies. I play a goth witch.
And if anyone doesn't recognize you, then I mean,
I gotta go back
they
and
just haven't been
rewatch.
watching
Yeah,
the show.
yeah,
They haven't been watching the show because
Yeah.
you're so recognizable.
yeah. Blonde tees, whatever.
Aw. Thanks. Is my connection good? Like, can you guys hear me and see me?
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
good?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so we'll introduce ourselves. I'm Robyn.
Hi.
I'm Arlon.
Not.
Yeah.
Oh, I was waiting. Go ahead, Arlon.
Oh my God. I'm Arlon.
I'm not.
I am Vid.
And
Sam, a little low.
This is.
Yeah,
is here, but
Like,
in spirit. In spirit,
there
she's
she
here.
is.
Golly.
All right.
Thank you so much for.
We're very, very excited to talk to you.
And let's
I've
see.
been like a mix of like nervous and excited all day long, so I'm ready.
Oh, listen, I'm nervous as well.
Yeah.
I should be used to it by now, but you know, yeah.
These are like the most fun episodes talking to you guys because it just getting like a little insight to our favorite show, and then it's so much fun.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like everything you guys do is so cool. Like I stalk you guys all the time on Twitter, and like I love everything. I love the passion so much.
Yeah, since we're thirsty, we're trying to give as much content as we can.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
we're dehydrated. It's fine. No legacies, nothing.
Me too. Cause like Legacies became like definitely one of my favorite shows. So now it's just I'm right there with you guys. Like I'm ready for more.
We're left on all these ideas. We're making theories every day, and at some point, just like drop the episodes, please. Just give us something.
Please, we need
A
something.
sneak peek.
We need something.
A
Yeah.
teaser.
Release
Something.
Something.
We're going crazy.
Some promotional pictures.
We got a vague synopsis, and then we're here going wild for it.
Every once in a while, we'll get like something small, and we'll just like cling to that because
a paragraph, and you're like, oh.
What was the synopsis that everybody died over? Was it 218? I think.
Was it?
No, we never. We don't have the synopsis for 217 and upwards. We have it for season 3.
For season 3.
Yeah, that said true love or something like that, and then
Yeah. Hope
that
is
Hope's world is shattered.
Yeah, I was like,
Lando is dying.
Yeah,
He's like,
Landa's possessed. It's fine. We know. We already know.
he's possessed. We know.
They're
He's
both
gonna get possessed.
sleeping. Like they just.
Yeah.
They're taking a nap.
They're just vibing. They're cooling.
They're
Not the
social
vibe.
distancing.
Social distancing? Well,
They're
Larry
doing
broke
their
that.
social distancing.
Larry broke that rule when he opened that door with Ralph right next to him. Social distancing, yeah. You know?
Look,
We'll
I
see
want
that
the
in the show.
musical episode. I am like,
Me too. Me.
I don't even know what could possibly happened during that episode, but if
See,
Hope's singing.
you have a little bit more insight than we do because you guys filmed 17 and 18, and then you kind of have an idea of what 19 is. So, like, it's you kind of know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, like every day on set, it's like I'm always trying to piece together different parts of the puzzle because we obviously, I'm sure you guys have heard this from everybody else, but we obviously don't see everything. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'll get there and like we'll be in some sort of scene and I'll be like, wait a minute, I missed something, and then I always try to like piece together what could have happened. It's like my own like little game that everybody loves to play. But yeah, so I know a little bit more, but honestly, like not much, because the days that I was there for 218 and 219, it was very sporadic, so I couldn't fit together like everything going on, and then especially with the way that 216 ended, I'm just like, I have no idea about anything anymore.
Yes.
Dream?
God.
Is it reality?
Yeah. We got theories. It's insane.
We just need something.
I wrote my whole theory on what 217 is. I know I'm wrong, but I wrote the whole theory.
Listen, okay, but what if you're right though? Like,
Yeah, there's only so many ways you could like play out.
Yeah.
I did write a couple of different ways, so who knows?
That's
It's
amazing.
gonna be one of them. So many things.
Let's hope. It'll
know?
be something completely different. It'll be like,
Watch it be something else. I'm just gonna be so salty and depressed. I'm like, I waited a whole year for this, 9 months.
But we get to see our favorite characters on screen, so the wait is definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, even if they're ghosts right now.
Ghosts? Yeah. Yes. Everybody's ghosts at this point. Yeah. It's only us. It's up to us.
Connection to Arya is that Nicole's sister saw him in Target.
Yeah. That's it. Arya said vanish tease. That's what he said. It's fine.
All right, so let's get into this. What inspired you to pursue acting?
Okay, so honestly, when I was a kid, acting was one of those things that was like a dream. I feel like a lot of kids kind of have like a small little part of them that wants to be an actor. And I remember I found this Hollywood school that was most definitely fake. Like it definitely wasn't real. And they were sending, emails my way like, oh my gosh, you have to apply. And I was like, oh, in my childlike mind, obviously thought it was real. So I was like, Mom, Dad, look, I have a plan. We're just gonna move me out to LA. I can do it, And I was just a kid. And so then that was kind of where it started. And then I realized I was like, oh, maybe I should get more realistic, blah, blah, blah. And then it kind of got like put on the back burner. I never really thought about it again, but I've always been so obsessed with film and TV shows and everything like that. So that passion and love has always been there. And then honestly, I was just looking for information about legacies because I was a huge fan of Vampire Diaries, the originals. So one night I remember I was just looking for information about the show and it coming up and everything, and I saw the casting that was posted for it. And so I remember it was like 2 a.m. and keep in mind, I don't know anything about the industry much. So I had no idea what I was getting myself into or what was, really going on, if they would even look at my application or anything. And it was like 2 a.m. I think. And I just applied on a whim and I was like, you know what, why not? Cause it can't hurt anything. And then literally the next day I got a text that was saying that they wanted me to come on that Monday. And it was just a quick turnaround. And then all of a sudden I was in it and doing it. And it's been a learning process for me as well, just figuring out what happens on a film set and the different, terminology and like all the different people that contribute into making such a huge production. So that's been cool for me to see just from an outsider fan standpoint. So yeah, I guess that answered the question, I think, a little bit, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Legacy
that did.
was like your first real like experience at all.
Yeah, 100%. 100%
Wow.
my first and my only as well. I've tried like for some short films here and there, and right when I was kind of getting more into I guess the Atlanta film world and scene and stuff, everything shut down. So then it kind of put everything back. But so yeah, first and only as of right now, yeah.
You know what? There's no complaints with that because like legacies.
Yeah.
Exactly. 100%, 100%. People ask me sometimes, they're like, do you wish that you could go to other shows, or do you wish that you could branch out more? And I'm like, guys, I have the time of my life when I'm there. I don't really, I'm not looking for much of anything else, like, because I was a huge Harry Potter, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like, fan.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. So literally being on this show is like, I feel like it was just meant to be. I'm always like, the universe had me on that one because I was like meant for this type of like genre and this like world.
Yeah.
It's always like a dream. Yeah.
So, okay, kind of off question, but being a Buffy fan, do you
Yeah.
see a lot of similarities?
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. In terms of like the Super Squad and like just kind of like the meetings and, kind of Alaric being this like, I mean, obviously we do see that he has a lot of flaws and we see that he does falter and stuff and he isn't all-knowing, but I feel like sometimes they do kind of portray him as like this all-knowing, almost like Giles from Buffy,
Right.
kind of mentor to, not only his daughters, but to Hope as well. And so I always see that type of similarity, Hope always being there to save the day. Yeah. And then obviously the whole plot line with Dark Josie just reminded me so much of
Wait.
Yeah. And
Is still watching? She's only in the first season, so.
I know when she posted her reaction, I freaked out because I was like, I'm so glad you're watching Buffy because it's so good.
I need to invest. Oh, she's on mute.
Yeah. We have to be. I having loved Buffy is like my number one love. Like, and I'm not going to put any spoilers or anything for Iz, but like when I watch Legacies, I think that's another reason why I fell in love with Legacies is because it reminded me so much of Buffy,
right?
In a sense, and some of the storylines that have happened or might happen that I kind of see like kind of leaning towards what might happen kind of remind me of some Buffy things. So
yep, for sure. I hope I didn't give Iz any spoilers with that.
No,
I was just acting like she wasn't watching it.
No, because that one's kind of been on Twitter a little bit, so like that wasn't because it was recent, right? So
yeah,
okay. You're good.
Cool.
All right, Naj.
Okay. Our next question is: were you a theater kid before becoming an actor?
So honestly, not really. Growing up. Oh, also disclaimer, I live in Alabama. I don't even live in Georgia. I don't live near. It takes me 2 hours to get to set. I'm very dedicated. So I definitely am. I make it work and everything like that. But growing up in like a super, super, super small town in Alabama, I mean, there were like 40 kids in my graduating class. So we didn't have any type of like theater or production or anything like that really. I started off when I was little, we did have a theater program and I started off in it. So I was in like a few things when I was younger. But then as I got older and stuff, I really didn't do too much in terms of theater. I didn't even honestly appreciate what theater was all about because I just didn't understand it. And then I went and saw Wicked with my family. And ever since then, I've been completely hooked. Like, I'm talking, listen to all the Broadway soundtracks in the car, scream at the top of my lungs, that obsessed. So I'm definitely a theater kid now, but I didn't grow up in theater.
What's your favorite musical?
Yeah.
Well, I think it always changes. I think Dear Evan Hansen is a huge favorite of mine.
That is such a good one. I love that one.
So good. So, like, just so important for right now, too, I think, as well.
For sure, yeah. I love theater and musical, too. So
Yeah, musicals.
I mean, one of my favorites is actually The Little Mermaid, which, I mean, shouldn't really be a surprise. It is, you know. I mean, I have an Ariel tattooed on my arm, so.
Awesome. That's so
cool. I would love to see it.
I've shown you. I'm pretty sure I've shown you, but I will send a picture.
Oh yeah. Like my favorite musical is Grease 2. Yeah. So we'll keep that.
You know what? Grease 2 is really good.
Yeah, like it's so underrated. I just,
we've had this discussion too.
Like, Grease is still the better one. Grease, number one.
Arlon, I didn't ask. This is my opinion. Be not valid. Come on.
I do really enjoy Guys and Dolls too. That's a good one.
Yeah. I love Hairspray. It's a classic.
Which one?
Hairspray.
Oh,
Hairspray. I haven't seen it though. I haven't seen the movie.
How you haven't seen it?
Because I haven't seen it. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'll just it's the new. I like 01 and the new one is good. So you should watch both.
Yeah, there you go. Binge watch both.
Yeah, do that. ASAP.
All right. What was the first episode of Legacies you read?
Let's see. So this is kind of funny actually. So the first day that I worked was for 104, the Spider episode, and then it was actually just by happenstance they were doing a reshoot for the assembly scene in 101, and I don't know how it happened, but I snuck myself into the first episode. So technically, I'm in the first episode. I sit behind the twins in like an assembly whenever they think that Landon's, the whole, you guys know.
Yeah.
So I was there, but I actually didn't start work until like 104.
That's what Nicole said too. Is she managed to get into the first one as well, even though she didn't technically start until the fourth one.
It was so weird. I was at the premiere because they did like a premiere at Atlantic Station in downtown Atlanta, and we were watching the first episode on the movie screen, and I came up and I was just like, I was so like taken back because I was like, wait, how did I do that? Like where? But then I realized that was what we were doing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
I would just be like looking at myself on screen and be like, okay, I'm on screen. That's weird. Like,
yeah.
It was very weird. I think too, just because I admire everyone that I like work with so much, like in terms of like background and castmates and everything like that, and the main cast, to see like everybody up there and seeing everybody's hard work like come into play and really come together to make like this beautiful show. It was very surreal. It still is surreal. Like I still can't get over it a lot of the times.
I can only imagine. Okay. The next question, I was about to start talking. Did you get a chance at choosing what supernatural character you wanted to be?
No, I didn't. So whenever I got the text for my boss that was asking me to come in on that Monday, she had said that I was going to be a vampire. And, I was over the moon and I was excited just because watching the Vampire Diaries and the originals, I definitely loved. I think vampires were like my favorite supernatural creature. But then I got so I was, that weekend, they asked us to bring like clothes, like for options for costuming to kind of, maybe we could wear some of our own items. And so I was kind of panicking and just very anxious and nervous about showing up with nothing to wear. So I was, digging through my closet trying to find things that matched the Salvatore color palette and stuff. And got an email Sunday night, like very late, like before my first day of work, and they had said that they had changed me from vampire to goth witch. And so I was like, I'm not really goth at all. Like I have a darker like color palette when it comes to my clothes, but I'm definitely not goth in any way. And so I was like, oh no, I don't know what I'm gonna wear now. And honestly, that was the best switch that could have come from the whole thing, because I am so happy to be a goth witch. So yeah.
To have that little coven.
Yeah. They are so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really awesome, yeah.
And they stand out, like amongst everyone else. They stand out
really do.
so much more.
I really enjoy, like, all of them have become family at this point. Like, we're all very, very close, and doing long shoots and stuff like that, overnights, all that kind of stuff, it just brings us all closer. So it's really nice to work with them and be able to enjoy each other's company so much, especially when you're together so much.
Do you want to continue that question, Nash?
Oh, yeah. It said, yeah, no, that's the next question. Is your question next?
Okay. So you did say that you were a fan of the series. So did you watch it like from the beginning, or?
No, I didn't watch it from the beginning. I came on to Vampire Diaries like halfway through, I think. I got caught up through, I believe it was actually iTunes, which is weird thinking about that now, because of Netflix and everything. But I think that I bought like the first couple seasons on iTunes, and then caught up and watched it live since then. And yeah, I've been a fan ever since.
Favorite character from the Vampire Diaries? You know?
What?
I was like, what's your favorite character from the Vampire Diaries?
Oh my gosh. I love Bonnie. I love
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Caroline a lot, actually. Enzo, I really loved Enzo. I feel like whenever I think about the Vampire Diaries, the amount of time that it was on and how many seasons and characters there actually were, it's so crazy. I was also a huge Catherine fan, which I don't know if that's controversial, but I was a huge.
I don't know.
Yeah, people love Cat. Yeah, people love like the darker villains and stuff like that.
Yeah. Right. I thought she was a really good villain. And I was obsessed with Kai Parker.
Yes, Kai.
Oh yes.
So having him come
good.
onto the show for Legacies was kind of like surreal, I guess.
Yeah, that was crazy. Because I remember my friend Amber and she's also in the Goth Coven, but we were just doing a cross in a hallway one day, and it was like, I think it was like right before Thanksgiving break, and we were just doing our walks and stuff like that, and then I heard, can we get Chris on set? And my brain like wasn't processing like that, and then Chris just like walked in front of Amber and and we just kind of looked at each other and we were like, it's cool, don't say anything. Everything's good. So that was very surreal, because I thought he was like honestly the best villain to come from PvD. One of them.
I think that too. He definitely was.
Yeah. Who was your favorite from the originals?
Oh my gosh. It might be cliche, but I did really like Klaus. But I also loved Rebecca a lot too. I really liked Rebecca, and I really would love for Rebecca to come to Legacies.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think a lot of people want
A lot
that.
of people would, a lot of people. And she wants to, like Claire has said she would come back, so.
Yeah.
It's what we deserve, you know?
I remember she said that, I was like, oh, awesome, and then she got pregnant, and then I was like, oh no.
Oh, yeah. You know, we had to say, I was like, we're gonna have to wait a little bit, you know?
Yeah, but by the time the shooting starts again, she'll have the baby. The baby will be like 6 months or something.
It's gonna be a whole year later.
There's lots of time. 2022, it'll be fine.
Arlon.
Please don't.
Yeah, please. Hopefully she's in season 4, you know? It just depends on what plot Hope is going to have and how it's going to be affected by it.
Because I would love for Hope's like full tribrid to come out, and then Rebecca like come down to help her through that. Like I think that would just be so beautiful to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
especially with her teaching Hope kind of like to control her brother. You know, we don't want her to become a rip or anything, and having Rebecca kind of teach her the ways of being a vampire would be interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would invest.
Do you have a favorite character on Legacies?
Okay, this changes all the time. So I got my sister into Legacies like not too terribly long ago, and because we were taking a trip over to Covington for the day, and so I wanted her to like kind of see everything, and so we were watching it, and I feel like every single time I rewatch it, my favorite character changes. My original favorite was Josie, like through and through. Like I was the biggest Josie stan.
Yeah.
But then watching kind of more and more and more, I became like a huge Hope stan as well.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think too, just Danielle is such an incredible actress that she gets my heartstrings going. Like,
Yeah. She does.
I feel you 100%.
Everything she does is
just like little like quirks, like in the way she like moves her eyes or like her mouth, just like little wrinkles like in her face. I'm like, I felt everything with that one look, and so definitely a Hope fan. But I also am obsessed with Lizzie too. So.
Oh yes,
Lizzie.
Yes.
So
Lizzie
good,
writes.
You cannot like Lizzie.
Yeah, Lizzie Rice is well deserved, especially after season 2. The development was amazing.
Top tier.
Hope, Landon, and Lizzie, I think, are the majority top 3 in this group.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're the top.
That is my top
100%.
3.
Yeah, Landon is number 1. You know, I love
Hope
my
is number
son.
1 for me.
Robyn,
You know, I'll go through and through for my son.
You guys know my favorite character. Come on. Not like I don't mention it every podcast.
You know mine too.
Yeah.
Mark, right?
Like Danielle's scene in 202 on the bench. That when you're talking about like her eyes and her like just the way that she like
her trying to hide her tears.
I'm still trying to figure out how Arya sat through that.
Yeah.
It's mutual.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need you to mute.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I was like me. I was like, oh, let me mute. But anyways, so what I was saying was, I was like, this might seem like strange or whatever, but I cannot get through 106, 202, and maybe even like 116 without just like sobbing.
Yeah.
Yes.
202 is just too much.
202, I was crying because
202 is what I cannot watch that without bawling my eyes out every single time.
Yeah, I can't. Because like she was really crying. Delaney is like, here's the peanut butter blast. I'm just like, oh
as well as
my God.
201 when she was talking to Cindy Landon in the bus stop.
Oh my God. Can you?
Danielle is just mind blowing.
Yeah.
That
whenever she kind of tells Alaric everything and is like,
yes. Yes. Oh yes, that's a breakdown.
That whole part gets me too. I'm like, oh, so good.
Yeah, I don't know how people can keep a straight face with her because they're not like ball their eyes out.
Yeah. Episode 2 though was probably the most I cried. Besides like the Lizzie scene.
113 was 113 was hard too.
Oh.
Because we had to sit there and expect and watch Landon be dead for a couple minutes.
107.
Wow. What happened?
107. Oh, 107 when she was with the necromancer.
Oh yeah. Oh, sick. That's sick.
And she was sick during that. Like, imagine being sick and still pulling off the amazing performance that she did.
Right.
Every performance she does is just wonderful. It's just the consistency, top notch.
Seriously though, in 216 too, where she's playing Lizzie, I was like, that takes so much skill.
Oh yeah.
And she aced her too.
Yeah, to mirror Jenny's portrayal of Lizzie, and then be
I was gonna say that too. On the flip side of the emotional stuff, she can ace that comedy as well.
Right. Yeah. And that's like what I found so interesting too is especially whenever she's like, what did she say? Whenever Laura comes in and she's like, "Hi, Daddy," or something like that.
Yes.
Best impression ever. And I was like, wow, this is crazy to watch her like.
And Caleb was just like, whoa, wait a second. I don't know how you guys could watch that and not like just crack up the whole time.
I was cracking up for a fact.
The whole like back at you Brockmeister or whatever that.
Yeah. Or the whole like, is she really this short?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
We can talk about Danielle all day.
Yes,
They're definitely fans. I guess that can kind of lead into the. Oh, I guess you can say this question, Nash.
Yeah. Can you share us a funny story on set?
So I'm trying to think. I feel like there's fun stuff that happens all the time. I know a really fun day was the slug, the talent show, and the slugs and everything.
Yeah.
I remember whenever they told us to act like, this stuff was coming out of our ears and we were like stomping on the ground to kill the slugs and everything. That was very, very fun. Also very funny too, because everyone was just going crazy and honestly nothing was happening. Like we were just all and then I remember this one time too, it was for 2:10 and we were waiting to go out and do the ascendant scene with like the big circle of witches and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were like waiting on set, and typically, the floors on set are, very dusty and stuff because people are like chopping wood and moving, like these huge trees and like everything. So it's very slippery a lot of the times. And they always put me in my Doc Martens, and they don't have like
no grip.
I thought that it was like an A1 I play musical chairs, and I was like, I'm all for musical chairs. Let's do it. And so we started playing musical chairs, and I'm very competitive, so of course I'm gonna run to get to the chair, and I just like face planted it so hard. It was like I laid there for 5 seconds to just kind of like regroup because I was like, oh, that was awful. I guess that was then. Looking back on it now, though, it's hilarious. But at the time, I was like, I think I just hurt my knee very bad.
And then you still had to get up and film the scene.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's always just super fun. I know everything with the talent show is just awesome. Because Kaylee, like, every single time that she sang her song, she actually sang live. So, like, they played the track just to like keep her like keep up and stuff, but like when she would hit her high notes and stuff, you would always hear her actual voice over the track. And so we were all just like so amazed at like her vocal ability and stuff during the talent show, and then also Quincy's like amazing dance moves throughout the series. Like every single time they have a dance scene, I'm always just like
Episode 11 in season 1 is my favorite season 1 episode. My favorite.
Yeah, that's mine too. Also.
But I mean, I'm kind of partial because I mean, my favorite scene is Landon singing to Hope. So.
And mine's is the kitchen scene. It's we were getting fed that episode, but other than that, like the episode was fun to watch.
Yeah, I really liked that one. And also Lizzie, like, trying to control her inner bitch or whatever she said.
Yes, that was funny.
Yeah, because no one believed her either.
Literally.
Jenny is so good at that. Like, I love Jenny. She is so amazing.
Seriously.
She's an actress.
She, her performance in 204 made me cry.
I'm trying to think of what.
When she was tied to the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And I also loved the Oni demon. Like, I thought that was a great monster. well, I guess that would be a demon, but same thing.
Yeah.
So, I really liked that, and then her iconic like, why are you carrying a sword? Like
Yeah.
that.
Eating ice cream.
Yeah, that was great.
I just love the fact that like both Josie and Hope were like, no, we're not going to stab you, we're not going to kill you, and then Lizzie grabs the sword and just doesn't even think, it just stabbed like right through his stomach. She's just like, not even hesitation, just like, okay, you're possessed.
Right.
Like,
She was like, I've had a rough day, you guys. This is the last thing I need right now.
yeah. I just love that there was no hesitation whatsoever.
No regrets either. Like, no, I'm sorry. She just did her job, you know?
That's the thing. Landon should have gone to Lizzie. That's what should have happened.
Yeah, she was like,
that should have been Richard George.
Yeah. Like, oh, he'll come back.
Yeah, pretty much.
No second, no
Lizzie
thoughts.
So she is such a great character.
One of the best, too.
Okay, if you could work more or with anyone from the main cast, who would it be?
Struggled with this question. Because they're all just so talented, I think it would be like an honor to get to work with any more of them. But I would say Danielle or maybe Kaylee, I think. But also Aria too. Yeah, one of those three.
Yeah.
My choice automatically would be Danielle. Like, yeah,
Danielle,
Danielle scenes you can. No, you don't. You don't know.
Right, Arlon been like quiet, please.
Oh my god.
His would be like Aria, 100%.
Listen, I don't know how anybody. I don't know if I could ever actually talk in front of them without passing out. It's just, you know, I just don't think I could actually talk to Danielle with a straight face, let alone act near her.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
that's
eventually, though, if you're around her enough, it'll just be like, oh, she's just, like, oh, been there, seen her, it's fine, whatever. But
right.
I don't think I'll be like, oh my god, I'm seeing her again. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna, it's gonna be the same thing.
They're just all so nice too that it makes it just so fun and so easy. And you would think that it would be like just so incredibly intimidating to like do anything like in a small scene or any type of like thing with the main cast, but they just make it so comfortable that it's like totally fine. Because like I remember for the Coven, for 210 for the Coven episode, I was holding Danielle's hand like the whole night, and I was like, in that moment I was very like, okay, I'm nervous.
I'm
but
super jealous right now.
Yeah, she made it so cool and so chill, and she always like, we have great conversations, and like there's never any type of like tension or anything like that. It's just like everybody's just so nice. So
yeah, I can only imagine how fun it is to work with the cast, especially with like just knowing that each episode is such amazing plots and getting a chance to work with different actors on set. I would like to see how it is one day.
And then you had that scene with Jenny as well, right? When you met her at the docks after. Yeah.
That scene is emotional.
That's a good scene. I love that scene.
Literally watching them film that scene, because the way that like the docks are at like the bottom of this like pretty big hill, so we were kind of like all waiting on the hill, and the crew and everybody was like kind of standing on the hill, and I was like watching down on their moment before we had walked up and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, people are gonna love this scene so much, because I felt it and I could hardly even hear what they were saying, but I just like felt the type of like energy.
Yeah,
that's probably one of my favorite scenes.
Has anything like happened on set that's just kind of like surprised you or blown you away, or
let's see, anytime there's like a party or a dance, those always blow me away, just the sets. I think a lot of it too, like a lot of people don't really see, because they don't really show a lot of the, like the walls and the decorations and stuff. Like obviously you get a good idea of, what's there, and you see the dance floor and stuff like that, but they really just go all out for the dances and stuff. Like it's so beautiful, and they turn the grand hall into like such an awesome place. So anytime that there's like a dance or I guess a birthday party, those always blow me away.
Well, like the 80s episode with all of the costumes.
That one.
Yeah, that one was crazy, and everybody's costume was so fun. And the few days that we had filmed that one, it was so cool too, because everybody there, you know, has definitely seen like a lot of 80s movies, and they were paying so much tribute to so many of them, even in our costumes and stuff, which I thought was just like so cool. So
yeah, and so realistic as well.
What were you in your costume?
I was the lead singer from The Cure, I think, a band called The Cure. I wasn't familiar with it. I looked them up and I was like, okay, I see it. But
I'm gonna have to look.
they made me. I had like my hair was up there because I had longer hair. And I remember the hair lady was like, okay, we're just gonna kind of push it up. And I was like, alrighty, let's do it. So then we made it like super high, and I had to take, I think, like, I don't know, like 30-minute showers just to get all the hairspray.
Oh my god.
But the makeup was super fun too, like just like huge like wings and like electric green and red like eyeshadows and stuff. So that was really awesome.
That had to be a lot of fun for like the costume designer and the makeup, you know, hair and all of that, just to kind of like go wild with this decade.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I remember it was so cute because like the makeup and hair team, they were like playing 80s music like while we were all getting ready and off of their phones and stuff. And they had also dressed up for the 80s, just like to fit the theme, just for fun. And so they were all dressed up in their like 80s get up and stuff. So it brought it even more to life and made it more fun for everybody too.
I thought it was kind of funny that they had the DeLorean in the game and then had Landon dressed up as Marty McFly. Like, just kind of like a good connection between the two.
Right, yeah. I loved Josie's look, I think it was.
To say anything, yeah.
Yeah. Her dress was amazing.
Yeah, it was very, like, it caught me off guard just because I expected them to go more of, like, Lizzie's route for Josie. But then whenever I, like, thought about Josie as a character, I was like, oh, yeah, of course Josie would do that for the 80s.
Yeah, it's so Josie. It's fit her, like, so well.
Yeah, for sure.
Naj?
Yeah, well, has being on the show changed your life in any way?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, I think, too, like, being on the show, and not only in terms of, like, being able to talk to, like, awesome people like you guys, like, this is so awesome, and it's definitely changed my life in that kind of way. Like, people actually want to talk to me and, like, get feedback on my opinions and stuff, so that's been really cool. But also just in terms of, like, confidence and stuff. I mean, because, you know, like I said, I grew up in a small town in Alabama, and I'm this, like, super shy, introverted kid. And so being able to, like, do something like this, it just really pushed me out of my comfort zone. And everybody makes it feel so safe on set to be who you are. And so, you know, I'm actually, whenever I'm on set, I'm authentically, like, myself and who I am. And that's been something that I've never really had before Legacies. So that was just, like, very nice in that sense as well. So it's definitely changed my life in a lot of ways. And one thing is too, is like, you know, before Legacies and stuff, I never played with, like, hair or makeup or anything like that. But then whenever I went on the show and they had made me goth and stuff, you know, they always put, like, this very, like, pale type of, like, makeup on me sometimes and darken my eyebrows, like, really dark, and lots of eyeliner and all of that kind of stuff, which is never, like, I've never played with that kind of thing before. But then whenever they started doing it and stuff, I was having, like, the time of my life, because it kind of, like, unlocked this side of me that, like, I didn't really know that I had, that, like, I really enjoyed, like, playing around with different looks and stuff like that, and collaborating with, like, the makeup artists and doing, like, lots of fun makeup looks that sometimes you guys don't even see. Because I remember I think it was the Cupid episode, which is super good episode. But
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were fed.
213.
211.
What are you even talking about? Did you just like ignore what he
Okay.
said?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Anyways, the Cupid episode.
I can't stand that.
But so like for that episode, I remember the makeup artist was like, what do you want to do today? And I was like, we can get adventurous, I guess. Why not? I mean, because typically we do the same type of stuff. And I heard around set that it was a Valentine's Day episode is what people were calling it. I didn't really know that Cupid was a part of the situation. And I guess technically Cupid never really was there. But so I was like, let's do let's do more like beauty makeup type of stuff. So we did like an electric blue like eyeshadow that I wish that everyone would have seen because it was just like so pretty. And I was like, it was so cool. But yeah, so definitely changed my life in lots and lots of ways for sure.
Yeah, we didn't really get to see a lot of the students in the Cupid episode.
Yeah, yeah. It's like whenever I think about it, I just have to laugh because it's so funny to me whenever Hope is like dying in the hallway and just no one's in sight. And I'm like, oh.
No words.
We were
Honestly.
all walk, I guess.
She's watching Landon get his heart literally ripped out of his chest and eaten in front of her, and no one hears her screams.
Like, did everybody take a vacation? Like, where was the students?
Right.
A lyric? Like,
it's the same as in 207, right?
Yeah, was it 207? Yeah.
She's bloodless and she jumps out of the school and she's like yelling and screaming for someone.
She said, help.
And no one is like, it's just, no one heard her. I know that the school was evacuated, but no one heard her.
A lyric left. I don't know where lyric went.
No one thought, hey, we should evacuate the girl who's literally bloodless on the bed right now. We'll just evacuate all the other students who are able to walk.
Lyric said, oh yeah, you gave some blood. You're fine. Nobody's coming. Clark is not going to come for you. It's perfectly fine. I said,
don't. You're too weak. Bye. And then left.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to go patrol the school. What were you doing? Sitting and having a tea? Like,
right. Like, no, what was the lyric doing though?
He was vibing.
I mean,
taking a nap? Get some breakfast or something? Like, no.
We have a lot of those questions about what Alaric does.
Yeah, because
Hope is literally saving the school every episode.
Every time he takes a vacation, mid action, just
mid action.
Like, he knew Hope wasn't waking up, and yet he sat there and watched Josie take her power and put it in a coin.
And then came back and said, Ralph, look at this. Oh my God, Lyric.
Oh my God.
We don't clean his mams. As his daughter stand. He showed Ralph like Ralph was supposed to do something.
That I always think about is whenever Clark like completely drained Josie of power for a second and she passed out, and Alaric found her and she was like, Dad, I think I did something bad, and then he literally just like kind of dropped her and left. Like he was like, okay, like, I hope you're good, but like I'm gonna have to leave.
Right?
No, I literally.
Yeah.
Or in the prison world, he did something in the prison world where he basically like accused her. He didn't stand up for her. He just like, he wasn't like, oh honey, we all make mistakes or whatever.
That's what
he put the blame. Yeah,
he said we all make mistakes.
He was just like, go ahead, you know.
Like, dude, you're the reason they're in the prison world.
Exactly.
It's not your fault, you know.
He's been spending months finding no information. What's Caroline doing too? Because she ain't giving you nothing. Everybody's not doing their job. It's fine.
Hope is doing her job.
Hope is out here putting her life on the line while Lyric is worrying about that cop lady that couldn't even handle the supernatural life. She was there for like 2 episodes and then she vanished.
We're very opinionated.
Yeah.
I love it.
We put a lot of thought into the episodes because it's literally all we have to do. So
yeah, like I wasn't even noticing these things until I rewatched this summer, and I was like, okay, how did I miss this?
Yeah.
So
And then also too, like, I know whenever you watch it live, it's always such a different experience because you have so many breaks. I feel like for season 2 they took so many breaks.
Yes. The
Oh
breaks were the
yes,
worst. The breaks were the worst.
some was
4-week
unnecessary.
breaks, month breaks. Yeah, it was
The only
that
one
month break. That month break is the worst.
I mean, I feel like that was needed though. That one was unnecessary. But like the 2-week ones, I'm just like, we had to wait like 2 weeks for the Kai episode. I'm just like, all right, that's enough. You're hurting me.
Yeah. So whenever you watch it like all together, because I remember it was like mid-season finale for 2, and I was thinking that there were like a lot of these like plot holes and stuff, and I was like, something's like not clicking in my brain. And then I went back and I watched it like all in a row, and I was like, oh, there's like not as many as I kind of thought that there were, and these kind of relationships are actually kind of making sense. Because sometimes whenever I watch it live, I think, oh, all of a sudden these two people like have feelings for each other, or all of a sudden these two people are like going after each other, and I don't really see the build up. But then whenever I watch it like all back, I'm like, oh, there was build up there, and there was kind of an arc, and we did see more of the type of like building up and stuff. It just, because there were so many like breaks and stuff, my brain was like forgetting a lot of stuff that was going on.
Yeah, I feel like the only one of the plot holes that I'm just like, what's happening is like Ralph's plotline with his dad, like how that just kind of got thrown on the rug and he came back and then automatically got killed. I was just like, wait a minute, like what happened between that day of him being there with his father? So we'll have to see with season 3, I guess.
I like rewatching it all and kind of picking up on the little like hints and stuff that the writers try to put into the different episodes, and because they foreshadow a lot, and so I like to try to see, like they foreshadowed in 211 what would happen in 213. So like picking those up, and then of course any Handon scene I'll watch over and over again anyways. So.
I think one of my favorite Handon scenes is definitely I think it's 211 in the bathtub.
Yes. One of the best scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top 3.
We were clowning so hard that day too, because the writers would give us the emoji hints, and one of them was a shower, and no one wanted to believe that it was going to be a Handon, because it's always like, Delana had the rain kiss. So it's like, oh, let's have it's not going to happen. It's not going to be a kiss. It's not what it is. And then it was a kiss, and it was just like, oh, you guys.
Oh, that day. That day.
Twitter was crazy.
That day we lost our edges. Our life left the chat.
We got two amazing scenes in that episode.
Two flavorful kisses back to back. I don't think I was able to comprehend. I think I cried. Yeah, I cried.
After that, I have no comments.
It was no comment.
The flying one.
Yeah. That flying one.
Iconic.
Just some numbers.
Iconic.
Taste.
Just the scenes that they give them are just so good.
They're always powerful, and it's always contributing. It's always contributing to a relationship. It's like every scene just shows like the development of the relationship. Landon's insecurity, then it later on was answered by the end of episode 11, and then we see him get more powers along.
Yeah, Hope realizing she didn't have to save him all the time. That he, that he wasn't going to stand in her way, but he also wasn't going to let her sacrifice herself either.
Right. I think one thing that I am so obsessed with, and I just love the writers for so much. And first and foremost, I love the writers. Like, I think they do a fantastic job. But no matter what, people say, at the end of the day, I love pretty much everything that they do, and I think that they do such a good job at just, good storytelling. But I loved the fact that Landon was the insecure one. That like Landon was the one, because I think a lot of people think that Hope kind of is weaker because of Landon and all this kind of stuff, and that she always has to save Landon and all this kind of stuff. But I think it's very important to see a male character having a very vulnerable, unguarded.
Thank you.
The reverse.
Thank you. Like, I love this one.
Because growing up, like I think that representation is always important, and like the male species or whatever isn't just one side jock. It's not all gets.
Rough. It's not all rough.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
like we're actually seeing emotions.
Exactly.
And,
so I think it's just so cool and so beautiful to see, like, the relationship that they do have, and how, you know, because typically in a relationship you do have somebody that is kind of more second guessing or something than the other, and it's so nice to see, like, Hope being reassuring and, like, you know, them talking about it and having, like, a healthy, open, like, let's talk about it, let's figure it out.
Yes, because a lot of relationships don't do that. It's always kind of the lack of communication, and the fact that Hope was like, I can't express it that much, but, like, let me just show you how I was when you weren't here. That gave him enough, like, okay, well, while I was with Josie, this is how she felt. And I felt that kind of helped, because between season 1 and 2, Landon was feeling that way. He felt like he had to be on her level in order to help her, or in order to be seen as useful. And the fact that she just like, I'm happy this way you are, he now understands. So I think episode 11.
And Hope, Hope is already so powerful that to put her with another, like, person like her, I feel like they would just butt heads and they would clash. Whereas being with Landon, he grounds her. You know,
he's her anchor.
Yeah, he's her anchor, and he, just like she said in her thing, is that he's the 1,000 things that she's not. He is who she wants to be, like, in a sense, like how emotional she wants to be. She wants to be emotional. She wants to be able to break down those barriers, and having him helps her come to terms with that. And she sees that here's this guy who has gone through the same traumas that she has, in a sense, who is still so pure and genuine and happy and kind, and she wants to be like that. And he brings that out in her.
Yeah. Let alone that, like, when she first saw him again after 2 years, she automatically opened up to him about some, like, her family, and she didn't see him in 2 years. And him and her being mad at him about the knife, she still opened up to him and talked to him more than anybody in the school. Yeah. So technically, if Landon and her never talked, or if he never came to Salvatore school, I don't think she would have opened up to anybody yet, because she wasn't talking to anybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's,
so, like,
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
That's what we love so much about the relationship. It's just because it's so human. It's so, like, they're teenagers in love, and it's not the typical, like, Vampire Diaries or the originals, or it's two 17-year-olds who have come from these broken families or pasts, who are finding this bond with someone that they never thought that they would find, you know? And I mean,
so realistic.
Yeah, it's realistic, and it's just, and it's like, I really hope that they continue this relationship throughout the series and just build it up as they go, because
it's refreshing.
It's refreshing, and it's just so pure.
Because it's not like how the originals were, when it was like a love triangle. Every show does not have to have a love triangle or a switch, a plot twist of why they don't like each other anymore. There can be a relationship that is about growth and build up, and the fact that they kind of correlate with the same things, and they feed off each other. That's what made them stronger. It doesn't have to be Hope having a random love triangle with somebody else in order to strengthen a relationship, because they're already strengthening a relationship on things that they do in their daily lives. Hope is kind of the muscle of defending Salvatore School, and Landon's the logic, the idea, the brain to it. Like, they go hand in hand, and I feel like if Legacy just randomly throw it away for some shock value, it's just not going to make sense for me, especially like the development Hope had with her pretty much saying that Landon's her true love and her epic love, and then to randomly say, oh, psych. I just, I don't see it.
And why can't we start with a couple and end with the same couple? Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like it can have problems along the way, but like completely 360 it around, especially without development, that can kind of throw people off.
And I think what is, I don't know if you guys like notice this, or I'm sure you do, of course. I love the music that Legacy's chooses.
Yes.
Like, just like the best scenes to have just like the best songs, and I like whenever I rewatch it or something like that, I just cannot imagine any other song being in that moment. And it always just adds so much. I'm thinking right now of, my mind always goes back to 106 and the Wake Me Up cover with whenever Joe is passing away again.
Oh my god.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That, and then like the strings and like the orchestra and the build up and everything, it's just like that's kind of what you're feeling like emotionally too, and then it just like kind of like lets out, and then so do your tears. So
Yeah.
so
I cry every
You know,
time.
to this day, I cannot listen to "Take Me Home" without bawling my eyes out.
Oh yeah. Take me home, please. That's the drabs.
that one, yeah, that one is so good. And because like whenever I'm on the way to work, I typically, because like a lot of fans make like Legacies playlists on Spotify and stuff, and so I'll listen to like the songs kind of just to get into like the headspace and stuff. And so whenever that one comes on, I get into this just emo, like it's time to.
So I have a Handin playlist, but Naj's best friend Ember, she is like the queen of Handin playlists. So if you need a playlist, that's the one you need to follow, because she has
got a lot.
And it's so like true to her heart. Like her playlist is incredible, and you should definitely listen to that one, because like she just pours everything into it.
Oh, that's so cool. Somebody send me a link on Twitter and I'll
Naj.
check.
Oh yeah, I got you.
She just said Naj quick.
Yeah, I got
Well,
you.
it is her best friend, so.
Yeah, my best friend doing amazing things. I don't got Spotify. I need to invest.
You do.
Don't have it?
Oh yeah, I got Apple Music. I pay for it. So I'm
Trash,
just like,
trash.
same.
Okay, so getting back to the questions, what would you name your character if you could?
Okay, so I actually came up with this whole thing last night. So basically I was like, you know what? This might be a little too on brand for like the witch thing, but I was like, what about Sage? Are we feeling it? Do you guys feel it?
I like that.
Sage, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, maybe that's too on brand because like the witch, Sage, all that kind of stuff. But I was thinking about it and I was like, what if I was like this very like shy, you know, super introverted kid like myself. And then whenever I came to the Salvatore school, I like grew into my power once I learned how to like use it and stuff. And I got like confident and like this whole goth aesthetic and stuff. And then I like changed my name to Sage. I was like, that would be pretty like badass. So
yeah, that's.
I like it. It suits. Yeah, it definitely suits him. I like that for his character. Yeah.
So
I can imagine it.
So we have a Sage and a Saffron, and Nicole said Madison. Is that what she said?
Yeah, it wasn't Madison.
awesome.
I think it was Madison.
We're getting names for behind the scenes. We love to see it.
This is what we're gonna call the characters from now on.
Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in and be like, hey guys, new name
Legacy
alert.
writers. We have names.
Give us some name. Here's some name rights. So now Lizzie can talk about more people, like how in season 1 she said Alyssa Chang. We never got a chance to see her into season 2. You know, now Lizzie can talk about people and we can know what she's talking about.
That was really cool foreshadowing. I did not expect that at all. And then whenever I realized how many times they actually mentioned Alyssa Chang, I was like, oh, that was like kind of genius. Because
they said it in episode 112 as well.
Yeah, they were putting her in there. They were giving her some shout outs, you know?
Right.
And
that's what I mean about the foreshadowing. There's so much foreshadowing that people don't even realize.
Yeah, exactly. And it was cool too because we had already filmed. I think Alyssa comes in 2009. Am I correct? I think.
It's something. Yeah, it was 2009.
Yeah, it was when Lennon
Hope
showed
came back.
Sebastian around.
And I remember that we had kind of already filmed that episode, and I had already like filmed with Olivia and stuff. And then I think it was 207, the Croatoan episode, they mentioned like Alyssa Chang found it on her morning jog or whatever. And I had already knew that Alyssa Chang was like coming into the show, and I was like, this is wild. Like they literally just talked about her just now. And people like don't even know like what's coming like in a couple episodes. So that was really cool too that they mentioned her again there.
Yeah, that foreshadowing
nice
is on point.
And then to have her be such a bitchy character, like just to even like top Lizzie, it's just
Yeah, she called Hope a basic witch, and I said, "Oh, the shots."
I don't know if you guys agree, but Alyssa kind of reminded me of Cordelia.
Yes, yes, she does. Yes, thank you.
Oh, Cordelia T.
I kind of got like this, like, kind of the same. Now, definitely, I feel like, both characters in their own right are just, like, very complex, and, like, you can't really compare everything about them. But some of the way that Alyssa Chang was kind of written, I just got, like, a little bit of Cordelia vibes.
But season 1 Lizzie was also very
I was going to say
too.
Lizzie. Yeah.
It's kind of a mix between season 1 Lizzie and then Alyssa Chang.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Our next question is, what's your favorite monster or legacies?
I'm like a huge nerd, so I love how they do monsters too, because it's like actual folklore and stuff. So I think that that's really cool. Definitely some of my favorites. Let's see, from season 1. Okay, this kind of sounds weird to say, but I really did like the Necromancer in the beginning. I think that the Necromancer definitely had a huge effect on the plot, and like,
yes, yeah,
yeah,
he was a monster that definitely pushed things like extremely forward in the plot. So I think that he's definitely a good one, but in terms of like coolness and stuff, the Necromancer isn't really it for me, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if that, but I definitely loved. We didn't see him like hardly at all, but the fish guy I thought was the coolest thing ever.
The merman.
Yeah. It was like 2 seconds type of thing.
And it was so cool to see him in 214 too. Like a little cameo for the Lizzie's like Hollywood movie horror.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm sure Brett was very happy about that.
And then I also loved the Headless Horseman. I loved the Oni demon and the Night Hag. I forget what the actual demon was called, but the Night Hag was
the Honoré.
Yes. I loved them. From season 2, I think I really liked. I don't know if I guess like Dark Josie is a monster or not, but I did like Dark Josie and Kai. I was trying to think of like some of the others that really stood out. I thought the Mummy was really cool. I really liked the Mummy. But yeah, what can I ask you guys questions? Like, what were your guys' favorite?
I think my favorite was. Yeah, I think my favorite is the Slug, because it finally gave like Hope. We saw Hope like stress free for the first time and ever, and I do like the what's called the Merman that was in episode 8 of season 1. That's pretty much mine.
Oh, that's the motel scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine pretty much the same. Yeah, this Lugs I think is my favorite too.
Yeah.
And then season 2.
What was the guy that it was the episode of You Speak Japanese? What was that guy's name?
Oh, it was the Oni. I was gonna say the Oni, but that was my favorite one.
That was my favorite one.
Garuda, the samurai.
Yeah,
the samurai was my favorite one.
That's mine.
All of his scenes were so good.
Yeah,
it was so funny. It was just so funny how he was explaining everything.
And then how Josie was like translating it was funny.
And then Landon laughing like, oh.
Landon's so lost. He was like, yeah.
That scene when they're in the Falls parking lot.
Yeah, that's the best one.
When she was like, I'm not gonna say that or whatever. I forget.
I was cracking up.
Yeah. That was good.
Also the Cupid. I actually like.
Oh, Cupid. I mean, yeah. Cupid gave us some good angst for the time being.
People sleep on him, I feel like, but he definitely like. I really, really liked that a lot.
I mean, he did a lot. He killed Landon, and he almost killed Hope.
He killed Landon. He almost did. And I was like, oh, yeah, whatever that was.
One of my favorites, the Quran. I loved the Quran. I thought he was terrifying.
Oh yes.
Yeah. See, I like him because he managed, besides the Cupid, he managed to really get them he managed to get on his goal a lot more than any of the other monsters did. Like he affected them a lot more, you know. And if it hadn't been for Wade, he wouldn't have been stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have like he got into Hope, and then I feel like Landon was the only one that was like that episode was just. Even Landon was like, "That's not my girl. Who's this intruder?" So let me open the books real quick, guys.
I love that he knew instantly that it wasn't her.
Yeah.
He immediately knew.
Who else would? No,
like Lizzie even thought she was the same. Lizzie thought that she was just fine. And so Liz was like, "Oh, you're making jokes at Landon too? Okay." And then Landon was like, "No, that's not my girl." So, and Wade was like, "Hope is acting weird too." So I feel like they're the only ones that actually paid attention.
Yeah.
Because Emma was like, "Oh, why you guys are arguing at this little fest?" I'm just like, Emma, you don't know, you can't see it.
Yeah.
I think I really like the Oni. The Oni was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably was my favorite one from season 2. Do you think the Sphinx would have been a good one?
The Sphinx was good, but he wasn't.
He didn't do anything though.
Yeah,
he just gave us a riddle.
He gave us the riddle and bounced.
We did. He was like, "I'm gonna turn to sand now." Like.
Okay, you know what? Okay, there's a tiny little plot hole there in 211, and then in that episode, because in 211, the necromancer, right before they found the golden arrow, said, "Oh, put him next to the Sphinx."
Exactly. What happened?
Yeah, we should have saw him.
But the Sphinx was sand. So what did he do? Go and get him in a dustpan and then.
He swept them up real quick.
Yeah, I didn't even pay attention.
Yeah.
And the necromancer's like, "Yeah, put him over there next to that sand pile that probably is already in the air."
And like the Sphinx, you guys know my theory. I don't think the Sphinx was sent by Malivore or the necromancer, because the necromancer was going off of for the golden. He didn't know anything about the prophecy until the Cupid wanted the golden arrow, and it wasn't until the Cupid wanted the golden arrow that he was like, "Wait a second." When Chad pointed it out, he was like, "Wait a second, I can use this against Landon." He didn't. When he offered the golden arrow to the Cupid or to Pothos, he wasn't like, "Oh no, I have to have that. That has to be mine." It wasn't until Kai was there and they heard the prophecy that he put 2 and 2 together, thinking that the golden arrow was going to be that could be used against Landon. So the prophecy for the golden arrow. Why was the Sphinx there? Why did that even happen? And why did he didn't want Landon at the school. He wanted Landon far away, which is why he made Roth take him away.
Yeah, like it's like he wanted him safe in a sense.
So why would Malivore send the Sphinx there to get rid of Landon and mention the golden arrow?
Yeah. He mentioned he had a new master, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, if it's Sailor,
I think it's Sailor.
If Sailor's in Malivore getting tea,
I just want to see her again. I just want to see her come back.
I think it's Sailor because Hope changed Malivore when she was in Malivore, because her and Clark she could see all the other monsters. Right. Sailor's not dead. We know that they're not dead when they jump in Malivore, so we know she's alive.
It's kind of like it's like an isolated place.
I could see her pulling the strings and kind of like picking and choosing which monsters to send out in a sense to help, because if you notice, all of the monsters along the way have helped them in one way or another.
Yeah. I just feel like with the necromancer, I just need to see what the necromancer is doing, because all this taking Dark Josie's powers and collecting dead villains that they kill, I'm just like, what's the concept?
That's where I was thinking about it too, because I was like, for a minute, I kind of thought that like he might almost try to create like this army of like monsters, like because he was almost like putting them back and saving them for something. It felt like, but then I kind of thought about like how he did technically promise them like eternal life or whatever. That he did.
As long as they succeeded.
Yeah, if they followed him instead. So yeah,
and
I don't know.
His priority, his whole focus has been about getting his magic back. So And then the prophecy didn't come into play for him until Hope got in his way, until he remembered Hope and she got in his way. He wanted to raise Malivore, but he doesn't want to raise Malivore as Landon because he wouldn't be able to control him, right? So he wants to raise Malivore, but in a different way. So like the golden arrow is just assurance that possibly that Malivore couldn't get Landon's body and that he would be forced into another body, which is why he could be taking the monsters' bodies, because he could possibly try to make Malivore go into one of the monsters' bodies and then control him in that sense.
True.
Because why did he have to dig up the Cupid?
Oh, my mind. Yeah.
He could have just washed his hands at it. So this is what I do. I do all the theories.
Yeah, because with the Necromancer, it was never really a clear head of what he's doing. Because he has the dead bodies, he has the Dark Josie's magic, and then he also wants to do something with Hope and Landon, and also something with Malivore. So it's kind of like, where is the tie coming into play? Like where, is he going to be an occurring villain like Klaus or Catherine? I just don't know what his motives is right now, especially with Malivore.
He wants Malivore to be his puppet.
Yeah, but everything else he's doing, I'm just like, I don't know. He got Clark, he got the Clark mud pit on the ground, and then he had the eye lurking on Hope and them. I don't even know how that could even help him with Malivore, but he did that. I just don't know what Malivore is doing at this point.
I just want to know what the golden arrow did. That's all I want to know.
Yeah, it killed Landon. It killed him. He's asleep.
No, it didn't. He's not. No.
All right, he's dead. Back. He's gonna come back. He's dead though. He's dead.
What if he come back on power mode?
I don't think the golden arrow was meant for him. I don't think he was the hero that it was meant for.
You think it just put him in a little sleep, like a poisoned apple, something like that, maybe?
I think the arrow was meant for Lizzie.
Oh yeah, Robyn got a theory on that too, Mine, go ahead, spill the tea.
My whole theory is that the prophecy is about the twins. Because the whole season 2 has been mostly about the twins first and foremost. And the two prisoners are Josie and Lizzie, because Lizzie's trying to control her mind, so she's like the prisoner of her own cage or whatever. And then Josie returns home without power. Well, she came home from the prison world and from the confines of her own mind and put her power in a coin, so she's powerless. And then Lizzie is the hero, because in all of 15 and 16, her and MG use the word hero way too many times.
They do.
And MG's word to get out of the prison or out of the box was hero.
Oh, yeah.
So, or heroes. So, I don't think the arrow was meant for Landon. I think everyone thought it was meant for Landon, but it really isn't. So it doesn't kill him. It actually does something different because it wasn't meant for him.
Oh my gosh, my brain right now is like.
And then
yeah.
the wolf. Everyone assumed it was Roth because he was controlled by the necromancer, but I actually think it's Hope, because Hope has 3 sides. She has many different faces, and she shows a different face to each person. She has a different face for Landon, a different face for Josie, a different face for Lizzie, a different face for Alaric. So she has all of these different kind of ways she interacts with all of these people. So she could be like the wolf with many faces in a sense, because she's a wolf, right? And then I think the greatest destroyer, everyone assumes the greatest destroyer is Handon.
Yeah, we thought it was Handon.
But I think it's the twins, because their relationship has, in all of the first season, they were building up this twin relationship. They slept together. They were so close, all of that. But in season 2, they've been split apart. They haven't been communicating the way that they should. They haven't been close. They've each been kind of focusing on their own things. Josie got lost and ended up being swallowed by dark magic, and Lizzie didn't even notice. So I think the greatest destroyer of love is the bond between the twins.
Wow. I love this.
Yeah. Theory queen, because I could never. I thought I was just so blatant. I was like, yeah, Handon, Kai, Necromancer, they're the prisoners. Yeah, not it, I guess.
I just overthink things. way too often.
but you're thinking in the right way of what a writer would do. They're kind of like making us think we know what's happening, and then they do like a little curve of like, psych, actually.
There's the whole prophecy is a smokescreen where you think it's one thing, but it's actually another thing, because they like to do that. In hopes, in 211, when she's like, you know, if I have to choose between you and something else, I don't want to think about what that day is going to be like. And then literally 2 episodes later, she had to do that.
Yeah, that was sick, though.
So, like, they have all of this foreshadowing kind of, like, mixed all in between this. I mean, the second episode of the season was literally about fire. And Landon was the only one who didn't get burned from a dragon.
Yeah.
That was foreshadowing about him and fire, obviously, and being a phoenix.
Wow.
No words. We won't let that marinate. No words. Yeah, when she told us that, I was like, well, I'm wrong.
Like, it all makes sense, like, for sure.
It starts to click. And watch we get nothing like that. Season 3.
Like I said, I have so many theories. My theory about the Golden Arrow, I actually wrote a story on this because I'm a fanfic writer. But my theory on the Golden Arrow is that it's kind of like a chambre de chasse where it links two people. So the Pothos wanted it. Pothos' whole thing is hearts. He wants to eat hearts. The juicier, the better. And so the reason he wanted the arrow is because it linked two hearts, two like soulmate hearts together, because those would be the best hearts to eat, right? And then he would get the 2 hearts for the price of 1. So he would take down 2 people for the price of 1 and get fed twice. So rather than, that's why he wanted the arrow. So then when Landon got hit with the arrow, it connected him and Hope, because that's who he's in love with. And it's kind of locked them in this like chambre de chasse, and they have to work their way out. Like, it kind of like the box in 214. They have to figure out how to get out of it. So it's like a test to see whether or not they're even worth being together, if they're worthy enough to be together and escape this prison.
That's so good too, especially because Hope has been like, she had that conversation with Rob too about, I'm always going to have to make a choice. And
yeah, thinking that they're doomed.
Yeah.
I think that in 214, I think that whatever choice she made, she still would have escaped that, because I think that her biggest problem is not being able to make the choice and not being able to choose herself. She always chooses someone else. And I think that whether she got on the bus or not, I still think she would have gotten her word.
Yeah. I'm just hoping they do like a slow development of her actually choosing Landon first. And I feel like we might get that if fingers crossed, if we get a possessed Landon, I feel like all bets are going to go off. She's going to be like, full Landon, which is what we deserve. She's been saving everybody else.
I think that's why that box was introduced, though. The box was foreshadowing, so we understood. Because people who don't watch the originals don't know what a chambre de chasse is. And so when the box was introduced in 214, it was kind of like, okay, this is what it is, this is what it does. So when it came in, 217, 218 with Hope and Landon, it made sense.
Yeah, because it did kind of seem a little just strange to just throw
it
in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially after, like, they just revealed that Emma was sending them kids to the prison world. And then everybody's like, okay, even though you did that, let's do some simulation. I'm just like, so she just did that yesterday. Like, they're just openly accepting that.
Everything is done for a reason.
Yeah, and it was pointless because Alaric knew that Josie was too strong for that box, which is the one that he had in his office. So why would he think that he could put her in another simulation and she wouldn't overcome that simulation? Yeah, okay. I mind. It's fine.
Like I said, I think way too much about these things.
Yeah, like, because some of the things that Alaric did in season 2 was just, I don't understand how he thought that was helpful. Because Josie immediately was out here killing behind the scenes. We was like, who's that? And then it's Dark Josie. Yeah, Dark Josie was killing everybody. And we had to think.
Oh my God.
Killing
behind the scenes.
Yeah, she's behind the scenes assassinating people. And I'm just like, so who is it? And then Alaric is out here
That's why he watched her put her power in a coin, because he doesn't want has an aversion to supernaturals. He never wanted his kids to be supernaturals, and to have them both be siphoners, and then for Josie to go down this like line of darkness that she was so capable of going down. Her putting her power away just basically confirms his fears about her being a supernatural in the first place. So like that's why he leans on Hope so much, because Hope is all of these creatures as one, and because of who she was, who her parents were and who her father was, she has a whole different like upbringing in that sense, and he doesn't feel the same need to protect her that he does with Hope or with Lizzie and Josie, because he still sees Lizzie and Josie as like his little girls. They're still his babies.
Yeah, even though I feel like it's like definitely this 2A with the Josie situation, I feel like he wasn't there for her more. Even though he was kind of like banned from going to Salvatore school, he knew she was like touching dark magic and still never kind of gave her that talk. And even when she broke Ethan's arm, we never saw him call her or attempt to connect with her afterwards. It was kind of like, oh, you did a bad thing. We didn't see her even if she apologized or she acknowledged it.
Sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, he always he continuously does that, and I feel like especially with the Sebastian situation, even though he's trying to protect his kids, he knew that what Lizzie felt for Sebastian was kind of stronger than anything, and he just said, "Let me send him to the prison world," and it's like he just purposely does things that still affects his daughters. And with Hope, it's just like.
Yeah, and like Hope knew right away that something was off with Josie, just because Hope obviously remembered Josie. So whenever Josie smarted off to her at the football game, she instantly knew that something was immediately off, just because of Josie's character. And then, let alone the coin, and Hope noticed.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was tampered with and everything like that. I think Hope put it together faster than Alark probably even did.
Yeah, she immediately knew because of like in season 1, Josie was like, Lizzie, let's always lose, and then the fact that it's like switched because her dad's not here, and Josie's like, let's win, you tackle this person. It was completely out of what she was thinking about last season.
And Hope is a watcher. Like Hope watches people. She sees people. She sees people a lot more clearly than most other people. And it's not just Josie she sees. She sees Lizzie, she sees Landon, she sees Rock. She kind of sees all of them and kind of understands like who they are, and then picks up almost immediately when there's something off about them. Like in 115 or 115 with Rock, when she knew instantly that there was something wrong with his mind still, that it was still like split. Because of those 2 years where she basically like wallowed in self-pity, she really became in tune with who she was and like her powers. And so like part of her like personality is her empathy and her intuition, even though it doesn't seem like it, right? Because like you guys know in the one where she had the dream about Landon in 213, where the kids were circling her, and she saw Landon with blood, and then she saw Dark Josie behind her. That was her intuition, because first off, Landon was stabbed in the exact same place in that dream as he was when Rock stopped him.
Yeah.
And she had no idea that Josie had turned dark at that point, because she didn't astral project until later in the episode. So she saw Dark Josie. She knew she was Dark Josie before anything. So that was her intuition. So she knew what was going to happen to Landon, and she knew what was going to happen to Josie.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm going to have to rewatch season 2 again, all these details.
Go back.
That's what I mean, though, is I rewatch because I like picking up these things. Like, just my writer's brain just likes picking up all of these, like, little things that they throw in there that they think is just so inconspicuous, but, like, it's not really.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I love it.
Anyways, we kind of got off track.
Yeah.
What was your favorite episode?
I I think from season 106, I thought 113 was incredible. I'm trying to like remember all of them. I loved 29, 210, 202. But definitely, oh my gosh, the Kai episodes were just so incredible. I think that was 213 and 214, or 212 and 213.
Yeah.
Those, I think, honestly, those were my two favorite episodes out of the whole thing, which is kind of weird because I didn't really expect it, but I just loved getting like Jade and Wendy and all of that type of story. I honestly wish that Wendy would be in it as much as Jade is. Because whenever I saw Wendy, I was like, oh my gosh, who is this girl? I want to know everything about her. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with like Teen Titans.
Yes.
Yes.
I used to watch it when I was little.
It literally reminded me of Jinx from Teen
Titans. Yes. Oh my god.
Like,
I love Teen Titans.
Like the way that she would just do her little like fire thing, like real cute and like real like. It,
giving me.
I don't know. It felt really cool. So
yeah, I was interested in her character, and I was kind of like expecting to see her more, and then it was kind of like dropped. It was like she was back to the top of her school, no updates. Like you would think Alaric would watch her when she's still stuck behind the bubble. Like it was kind of just like a, oh well, now Josie and you know they're like each other now.
It's funny because he sent Jade to get therapy, but he never sent Wendy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Wendy just vanished.
Mm-hmm. So I just loved the addition to those with those characters, and then also too, I was really nervous about how they would portray Kai in Legacies, because even though they're two, very different shows, Kai Parker is still Kai Parker. So I was nervous about how they were going to approach him, but I think they did him perfectly, and I think Chris played him just as well. Again, I mean, he was so, conniving and sneaky and cunning and lied and got away with it. And, but I also thought what was so cool about that episode too is how you could see some of him and Josie when Josie tricked him with the alcohol bottle at the blood vial, and you kind of saw that there is this, lineage and this like bloodline connection, that they probably share like some similarities of that kind of stuff,
Yeah. I feel like with Josie, we got a chance to see how she's kind of like Kai in a sense. And I do feel like with the Kai episode, we were kind of robbed with how he would act with Lizzie. I want to see how, like, when he still have a, kind of the same thing with Lizzie opposed to Josie. And I feel like even at that episode, we could have had so many more amazing moments with Kai and Josie. Like her kind of be like, oh, well, you need me to get you out of the prison world. So how about I ask you some questions and you answer it? Kind of like do a little more tick for tat situation. I feel like we could have had more flavor from the episode, especially with the twins and him. But we were rocked with the Lizzie and Kai situation.
Yeah, Lizzie dipped.
Lizzie said Cinderella tease.
My uncle, I don't care about none of that.
She said,
I'm just going to hang out with Sebastian.
She said, blue dress. Let's get on.
That really that shook me, though. That whole him, like, her almost becoming a heretic, because I've wanted heretic Lizzie from the beginning.
Yes.
So whenever that happened, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, is this actually about to go down? Like, is this really going to happen? But...
And then it got dangled in her face.
Yeah.
I know Jenny's been pushing for that too, right? I wonder how disappointed Jenny was when it didn't happen.
She probably was ready, and then it said, actually, you're safe. So...
Like, Kaylee did her wish. And Josie
Kaylee got her wish, And Ari got his wish about having a Sphinx, because he wanted the Sphinx.
Yeah.
Listen, we just need our heretic Lizzie. I just wonder how she's going to act, though. That's one of the things I'm interested in. Is she going to, is it going to cause more of a problem for her mental health? Is she going to, it's going to make her stronger, like Caroline, how Caroline developed and became stronger? I need to see. I need to know.
Yeah.
I just need to know how she's going to become it. Like, who's going to buy her, or, who blood she's going to have in her system. So, I'm prepared.
They're going to save that for, the very end when the actual merge happens, though.
Yeah, it's probably going to be, their kind of escape because I don't
'Cause
know if they're really going to kill them.
If they make her a heretic, then the whole merge storyline gets thrown out the window.
Yeah, they're going to milk it. God.
Just like they're going to milk Possessed Landon and
Tribert Hope. That's their key points.
Yeah.
And if they do, what if they do like Ripper MG? They could have had that. That could have been a season 2 plot, maybe.
Ripper MG.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, to see MG as a Ripper would be so much fun. Maybe not for the students at the South School.
Because they probably would have been. Yeah, they would have been ascended. But once again, what can we expect? Like, Alaric had Dark Josie roaming the earth for months. He had her roaming for months.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. I forgot they skipped the.
There was like a 5-month time jump in between 14 and 15.
And
she came back. Weird.
She came back floating through the halls. I'm like, no, she's been going for a half a year, quarter of a year.
People don't realize there was a time jump, but there was because 208 was October, and then 216 or 215 was March.
Yeah.
True, because the Christmas episode was in October.
Yeah.
I was like 5 months went by. I didn't even know. I was like March here.
Josie was missing for 5 months.
Josie was out here, went to Italy, probably went to France, probably took somebody's life. We don't know what she was doing. Was there even a search request?
But there was 5 months of hand-in that we did not get.
We didn't get. It was a 5. They didn't even give us a notice. We just come back to a different season. I'm just like, oh, it's spring. Well, it was just October, like 5 minutes ago. Okay, now we're in March.
Were they happy during those 5 months? I'd like to know.
Right, especially when the relationship got like strong. Landon now knows that she obviously sees him as her equal, and we just got swept 5 months ahead. Yeah, it was sick. It was sick for me.
We clearly have way too much time to think about this.
I mean, we eat, sleep, and drink legacies at this point.
Hence the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, we're fact obsessed. That we can do a show every single week, completely different, and talk about it nonstop. You know.
Just imagine when it comes back.
Yeah, I'm excited, like, for everybody, for it to come back. Like, I'm excited myself, but for everybody else too.
Yeah, when it comes back.
Theories are true.
I'm just like.
We're going to be discussing the episodes when it comes back, and.
Yeah, like Arlon and me and Iz, we're going to be doing our legacy reactions, which means like we're doing real life, like actual watching it, and plus like overall afterwards. Oh yeah, we're gonna. My mind isn't going to be ready for this. Dark Landon. I can be fed with some Dark Landon. Olive Ortiz.
I am ready for Arya to be evil, and I am ready for Danielle. I am preparing myself for Danielle to break me.
Hey, what can we expect? Danielle always does that though. Every scene.
They said her whole world's going to be shattered. That's going to create some like.
What does she become emo? Like more emo.
Sad moments that we are going to be on the floor, bawling our eyes out, clutching at our stomachs. Because
Robyn, stop. We got like months. I don't want to think about it now. That's next year.
Maybe years.
2023. Season 3 is coming out.
Next question, Nash.
Oh, okay. If you could have any monster visit the school, what would it be?
I had a lot of fun with this question, because like I was saying earlier, like I'm a big like folklore nerd and stuff like that, and so I had like so much fun trying to figure out what I would want. But hear me out. I came up with a whole theory, sort of something. It's like very rocky, but you know, I tried. It's not on Robyn level, but it will it a bit of sense. But I was like, I think it would be really cool to have like a banshee come to the school. And so banshees basically, like, there's 2 different kinds of banshees. The first kind, if whoever hears like the cries and like the wailing of the banshee, it pretty much foreshadows death in the family. So I figured that would be really cool for like a character to experience, to kind of like foreshadow an upcoming death of like somebody maybe. And then I also thought the other kind of banshee is like like just pretty much evil. Like the cries and stuff kind of drives the person that hears it insane, and then they like feed on their like frontal lobe or something. It's like really crazy. And I was like, it would be really cool for like a pair of like twin banshees to come out and then like have like the twins like maybe go through a different experience with both of them or something. Like, I don't know. Like, I thought that would be pretty cool. And also too, I really liked how in Lizzie Saltzman's Legacies, how they played with like more beauty makeup with the Ginny.
Yeah.
Because I thought she was like gorgeous, and I thought it was a cool take on showing that like the different kind of monsters that they do have, and like not all monsters have to be so like disgusting looking and stuff. And so I was like, you can make these like banshees, like, because they typically have like really long silver hair with like these like pretty like dresses or stuff. And I was like, you know, you can make them like I can just see it in the forest, like with the fog that they love so much in Legacies, the everlasting fog that's always around. But like just doing this like real pretty like beauty makeup on them and stuff, and having them cause some havoc. Oh, also too, I read that gold is the only thing that can kill a banshee, and I was like, what if you somehow use the golden arrow to like kill them or something like that? I don't know.
Oh, that could be spicy.
There is the myth that a banshee is a heartbroken woman. To turn into a banshee, your heart literally has to be broken by the person that you love. So like, that would be kind of cool if it was someone in the school that had their heart broken and ended up like turning into this banshee somehow. Yeah. But the other banshee you were talking about, the first one, is kind of like a Lydia from Teen Wolf.
Oh yeah. I actually never watched Teen Wolf, but whenever I was explaining this theory earlier, someone said they were like from Teen Wolf, and I was like, okay, I've never seen it, but I did hear that they were like on Teen Wolf and stuff.
Yeah, that was my first, when you first said that, I was like, okay, Lydia from Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
She was the banshee, but she was the one that where she could sense the death and the dead bodies and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a good show all on its own. But the second banshee, I think that would be really cool to have that beauty makeup and everything, and even better to have it like someone from the school kind of like intertwined with that myth. I mean, it can't be Hope because, I mean, her world's going to be shattered, her heart's going to be broken, but that girl has been through a lot already. So let's keep her away from being a banshee. But
that's too much.
I do like the banshee. I really like harpies. I think a harpy would be really
yes.
cool. And then have her have the beauty makeup and have this like gorgeous face and everything. And you have no idea, like underneath is like this huge, you know, bird and wings and like,
right.
You know. But the other one I think would be a kitsune, because I think that would be a lot of fun.
Now, what is that?
It's kind of like
like a Teen Wolf.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
okay.
kind of, but like a mischievous kind of like fox spirit. Like it's I think it's Japanese, like a Japanese lore, and it's a mischievous spirit that likes to cause problems, and they kind of always represented it as like a fox. You know, like how a fox is kind of, you know, curious and just like kind of likes to get in. Yeah, very sly, very, you know, kind of like in that sense.
Right, yeah, that'd be cool too.
What?
It's just like, it says, steer into the distance, child.
I know that Danielle and the girls have always said they wanted a siren.
Yes, a boy one would be a good twist.
But that's what I think, is having a male siren who lures the females, and it's up to the guys to save the day.
If it's a guy-centered episode, that would be wild, because Caleb and MG and Jed, that scene of
having
them
to save the girls from this like male siren,
and then like
so refreshing and so cool to see.
I feel like it's probably one of the funniest episodes, because all their humor is hilarious to me, and then Landis being like the awkward one. And then Caleb
But
and
Landon wouldn't even be in that right now because he's going to be possessed.
Oh yeah,
by
it's going to
Dad,
be.
So.
And sadness just came. Why did you even remind me? It's fine. I was my idea was like,
I'm being realistic. I'm being realistic. I'm preparing you.
We robbed. Let me sit down.
You see this sweet Landon on our screen right now? Yeah, he's not.
He's gone.
When he comes back. Hope has to fight. She's gonna have to get her boy back.
No. Landon's gonna be missing out all the. First of all, we already were robbed when he wasn't even in the New York episode.
Oh my god, that was the worst.
We got a picture,
and we had to wait.
And he had one picture.
He had a picture and a name.
And a bar named after him. Yeah.
I said, so Landon. So you just said Landon, don't come here. Fine. They let Landon fly across the school.
Landon didn't need therapy. What are you talking about?
Listen, Landon said, "I'm too good for y'all." He said, "Trauma."
Yeah.
Never heard of her.
The first episode, right? Because that was strictly prison world stuff, right?
Yeah, it was like a introduction.
That was the film noir.
It was the little noir of like the aftermath of Josie getting fully possessed by the dark magic, and then he said, "Let's throw them into a simulation."
Oh, Iz thinks Landon can't physically live in an alternate universe.
Oh, wow.
He can't, because he wasn't in the season 1.
Yeah, because he's never in any alternate universe. He wasn't in episode 10 in season 1.
Yeah, true.
I mean, he wasn't in the film noir episode. He was there because like his picture in the bar and everything was there because of Hope. Because that's her trauma. Is she doesn't feel like she can be happy.
I also wonder too how because obviously in Josie's subconscious or Josie's mind, Hope is turned to stone or that's kind of where he left. I wonder I keep wondering how they're gonna do that. Really, I also I don't know what you guys thought about it, but whenever, because I'm trying to remember everything about it, but because wasn't Lizzie and Landon tied together?
Yeah.
Whenever Landon died, I thought Lizzie was gonna die because of that. Do you guys know why Lizzie didn't get injured or hurt?
Because he's not dead. That's my theory.
True. Okay. True.
Because he was stabbed, because he originally died on the dock because Lizzie died. So he was resurrected, but I don't think the spell was broken there. I think the reason she didn't die is because he's not dead. Because he's trapped.
Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute, I'm kind of confused because I thought that Lizzie would have some sort of effect unless the spell just wore off.
Stop. Yeah. I was like.
But spells have a certain, I don't know, time limit in a sense, I guess. Especially ones where you have to drink them. I don't think they just disappear right away. It's like vampire blood. Vampire blood takes 24 hours to get out of your system. So I would think that the spell that Lizzie had to drink, or the potion that she had to drink, was a 24-hour kind of system thing like vampire blood was.
Yeah.
So she's not dead because Landon's not dead. And I also don't think Hope is stuck in Josie's mind, because I don't think Josie would purposely put her power in a coin and leave her mind knowing Hope was there without trying to get Hope back.
I thought that same exact thing too, because I was like, Josie, what are you doing?
Imagine if she did it on purpose.
I think the reason why, I don't think she would do that, but I think the reason why she won't wake up is because she's linked to Landon. Because of my theory of the golden arrow.
Because, okay, see? I don't know. Because Lizzie was perfectly fine, and then Landon's still dead, but they should be still linked. So, I think the necromancer is oh, you got stabbed? Once he signed the contract with Alaric, he was like, okay, well, anybody else that dies afterwards is in my hands. And since Landon just died because he watched Ralph stab Landon, he instantly has Landon now. But I feel with Hope, maybe Hope linked her and Landon together, and that's why she can't get up. Or now since Necromancer had the dark magic, he just took it.
Well,
she was still stuck in that.
Hope was already making the potion, so it wouldn't be hard for her. But she would have had to make Landon drink the potion.
I didn't even notice that Iz was totally commenting on this whole thing. I don't use Zoom, and I'm so dumb, but reading.
Oh yeah, I was like, wow, no words.
I've been saying what she's been saying.
I love it. I just opened it up and it was like, Arya's my husband. Like, okay, mood.
Okay. That's me. Yeah, I agree with Iz. I think that Hope probably linked herself with Landon because she might not have known what she was getting herself into when she went to Josie's mind.
Because she had that vision of Landon being stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, you know.
And she heard the necromancer. So she knew that the necromancer was up to something. So it wouldn't surprise me if she did link herself to Landon, knowing that he would try to
do something.
Like, go after him.
Exactly. Especially he's been tricked by him before, by the necromancer.
Yeah. And especially when,
so he didn't want to, like, try anything.
And he was controlling it as well. Like, he wanted Landon to get stabbed because he took over Ralph. He had Ralph premeditate this whole, let me bring Landon by the dock and talk to him. And then once he was like, all right, that's enough, stab him. It was kind of like, he knew he wanted, like, he's like, oh yeah, I'll lie to Lyric and say I'll give him his students back. But Landon, I'm keeping.
But Landon was already dead when he made that deal.
Yeah. So I feel like he would just, I don't know. Maybe like Marissa would like lie. Leave out little things like he did with Hope in season 1.
He definitely lied.
I'm wondering if they're going to keep them asleep for the next couple of episodes.
I was
at least one.
You know they will.
At least one. 100%.
You know they probably will for a couple of like 2 episodes.
Because like in the behind the scenes for 217, Danielle wasn't seen at all. There was no like, and the director took pictures with like a bunch of them, and there was no Danielle. So like, I know possibly, but there was a theory. Someone had said that 219, the musical episode, actually all happens in Hope's mind because she's scared, and so she's singing, and so like the throwback to Vampire Diaries in the originals is all in Hope's mind.
That would be awesome. That would be really
awesome. I just feel like however they did this to get linked is if they're linked.
We need the backstory.
Yeah, I need to know.
They're linked. I have no doubt. Like
I've said it.
I'm gonna have faith. I'm gonna like manifest that they're linked.
Manifest.
They're linked. I mean, they've used the writers the whole season have used true love and epic love and love of your life and made for each other. And if they're not linked, why would you use those words?
Yeah, and especially like both the scenes of like them showing Landon and then Hope later on, both being asleep and then saying, "I don't know what's wrong." If that's not like some type of correlation, just take it out. Just take it out. The drafts.
We always end up somehow going back to Handon.
It's sick. It's sick because we don't really talk about them.
That's on brand for you guys,
It is. Yeah.
It's chaotic for us.
That's why Handon stands listen to us because we always end up going back to Handon.
Always back to Handon. We be like, hey guys, this episode gonna be about the Super Squad, and then somehow Handon comes into the vocabulary. I still understand.
Well, we had that episode about the twins, and we totally went off about Hope.
That was you. It's just like, you can talk about Hope.
I know. I can talk about Hope for like hours and hours and hours. I have no problem talking about Hope.
Listen, one day it'll be our time to shine. With the hand and something.
Iz could talk about Arya for days. Yep. See, we're completely opposite. I'm Danielle. She's Arya.
That's why you work.
That's why. Exactly. Yeah. So if you have any funny Danielle or Arya stories, here's the place to tell them.
Honestly, with like Arya, I feel like I feel like I work with the guys the less, like the least, if that makes sense. Like and I think too that's because mainly like there are no male witches, so I think that whenever there's a witch scene or there's like some witch activity going down, it's typically with the girls just because they're obviously like the witches. So I'm like, don't worry. But every single time I do like it whenever like Arya messes up, just because it's like, it's so like sweet to watch because he's like so innocent. So he'll be like, okay, I'll do it again. Or like just like real like cute, like little quirky like things. That's like just really like dope that he is just kind of like the way he is, you know.
Some oral content.
He really is adorable.
I can only imagine. I just no words. Like him and Danielle just.
Everyone's swooning right now.
Yeah, I had to let it marinate, in my mind. Okay, ready for the last question, Robyn?
Yeah. Do you have any advice for anyone who wants to be involved in the industry?
Yeah. I guess some of the biggest advice I would say would be just to work hard, because I've kind of found that like through legacies and stuff, it's like the harder that you work and the more dedicated that you are, and you really try to show up and like really kind of like show like out, I guess, like just really try to like assert yourself into the scene or whatever, and just be passionate and kind and stuff like that. I think that if you stay humble and everything like that, you will kind of find yourself moving up without even kind of realizing it. Just because I am a big like believer in like you get what you put out type of thing. So I guess just like keep a positive mindset and stay humble, and it'll come back to you and you'll get kind of rewarded for that. And then also I think like be who you are. Like even if you are playing a character, bring a lot of yourself to the character too, because I think that's like how a lot of great actors and actresses are able to play them so well. Is it's almost like we all share the human experience, so people are able to relate it to their past and their stories and embody the character and relate it to their past emotions that they've felt before. So definitely like bring a little bit of yourself to the character, even though you are playing somebody else. I know that that's something that I was even nervous to do, even though I'm just little old background, is just because like being like somebody that's like gay and not like technically out or whatever, being on the show and stuff. And I was like realizing, I was like, my boyfriend and I are the only male and male representation in the entire show at the dances, because like other than that there's none. So like when I like kind of thought about that, and I was like, that really touches my heart. It means a lot to me that like maybe some people can see like us in the background and feel seen, or like a little bit part of themselves, just because it's just not displayed a lot through the universe, which I think should change. And I think it would be a cool, refreshing change. But so I think that definitely being unapologetically like who you are, even though you still are playing a character, I think is like super important for people that want to see themselves represented and see, parts of them in even fantasy, make believe characters. Cause that like really had an effect on me when I started thinking about that. And, the dance scene for the twins' Sweet 16 for the first season is, I was like, whoa, that's so weird, because I think the originals had male and male. I believe it was the originals.
Yeah, Josh and what's his name? I forget his name. Yeah.
Aiden, yeah.
Yeah, and they weren't even. I don't feel like they were in it long.
They weren't like that long. Yeah.
Josh was, but like the relationship, they killed Aiden off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. So like, yeah, that just means a lot to me to know that like, even though it is such a small part, and I am just, so small in terms of this like huge show, it does mean a lot to me that it is back there and like it is seen, and that people have seen it and spotted it out and stuff like that. And I hope to always continue to do that. But before the show, I would have never done anything like that. Like it was very, that day, that was actually like my boyfriend's first day on set, and we were just like, screw it, let's do it. Like, let's just like, you know, this is important to us, and like this is what we want to represent, so let's just do it and like not look back and don't worry about what people say about it. And then so I think having like that mentality and just going like in with your full heart is like definitely, I guess, any advice that I could probably say. So
I really like that, and I love that Legacies is so open with exploring those, like, just, they're not afraid of those doors, you know, like opening those doors, right? And even having a Muslim vampire in the background, that it's not done a lot. You don't see a lot of other ethnicities in the background for shows, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, and having you represent with your boyfriend, and then even having like Josie, you know, and I mean, we're Penelope Posey stands, so, you know, Posey, having them have, you know, that relationship as her being the main character, and that representation is really cool.
yeah. And then one thing that I just love so much about the environment too is everybody makes it feel so safe to do that kind of stuff. Because I know that we were kind of worried about like, oh, what are the PAs going to say? The ADs, like, what are, you know, like, are they going to secretly be like, oh my gosh? But it's never any of that, you know, like it's always just like welcoming and very just like be who you are, you know, and nobody on set, you know, makes you feel bad about it. And that's why I just like am so obsessed with going to work, is for that. So yeah.
It's nice that they create such a good atmosphere for you guys.
Seriously, yeah.
So what does your boyfriend play? Is he a witch or a vampire or
Vampire.
a vampire?
Vampire, yeah. You can that scene wherever, I believe it was in like, I can't even remember. It was in season 1. It was when tensions in the school were very high between the factions, and the werewolves and the vampires almost had like a whole collision in the hallway.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He like vamped into that scene. So yeah, he's in there, and then there was like a whole close up of him in 205. Whenever everybody was like coming together for the slow dance, like right before it cut to Josie and Landon. So yeah, it's a lot of fun to especially work together and stuff too.
Well, I will watch that episode just to see him. I don't normally watch that episode. That's my least favorite of the episodes. But I will watch it for you, and I will watch it for him.
Yes.
That's so sweet. I bet you guys were so upset with the whole Josie.
Oh my god, yeah.
I cannot even imagine. Like
I to this day cannot sit through a scene with the two of them together. I cannot rewatch. I fast forward through those parts.
Yeah.
It kind of like a secret to you guys. Like it wasn't really real. We're just gonna go past.
Yeah, pretty much. I know Liz didn't hate them, but I cannot watch.
I didn't watch it. Yeah, I didn't watch. Like every time they was on the scene, I just like looked away because it just wasn't it. Yeah. I was like
205 stressed me out. I was so stressed out with 205. Because like I don't even know if I want to watch it.
I hope it was hurting so bad.
Yeah, because it was just like it was. I didn't see it. It was like awkward for me, and like you never saw them. Their relationship actually develop. You just only saw them at the end of each episode where Josie did something that was with dark magic, and she's like, Landon, I did this, and then Landon's like, it's okay. The only things I basically got from them was like her kind of telling them her day.
They got more kisses than Handon did. They got more kisses than Handon did, which is so frustrating.
But like with season 2A, like this first half of season 2, like Landon pissed me off because it wasn't my Landon. For him to find out who Hope was and then automatically say, okay, but Josie, let's go. Like, no words. Random tease.
No words at all.
No, it has to be. I can't picture Hope or Landon with anyone but Hope and Landon. Like
it's not like not even that. Like I didn't have a problem with Hope and Maya starting a relationship. I was actually thought that Hope and Maya was going to have something because of that bathroom scene. I was like, Hope and Maya, I can invest. But then it was there, and then they dropped the bag with that, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to get that. And then they hinted her and Ethan. I was like, okay, I wouldn't mind, but But this Landon and Josie just wasn't it for me. It was weird.
I really like Josie and Maya because I really like that scene in the football scene where they look at each other.
Maybe Maya is compatible with either or because she was giving me something. But that bathroom scene. Bias. That bathroom scene with her and Hope, though, that one was for the books. I was attached.
But like Hope, the fact that Hope knew or figured that Landon was happy and still didn't move on with someone else, I mean...
Yeah, she was like...
It kind of says a lot. It does. It speaks volumes to me. It really, really does. Because if anything, if they were going to have her be with anyone at that point, that would have been the time to do it.
She could have had anyone. Like, she could have had Ralph with the situation. She could have had Ethan. Anybody. And she was just like, but Landon's my love. And I was like, oh, girl, you're sick. You know? Obsessed. Love to see it.
I want Josie with Penelope. Even though I don't know if she'll come back, but it would be awesome if she did.
It would be amazing.
If not with Penelope, then she could be with I mean I don't mind Jade, but you know.
Posing game.
With Landon. Hope with Landon. And I like MG and Lizzie, so
I need Ralph and Jed. Like Ralph and Jed.
Ralph and Jed.
Angst. Enemies to lovers, to Copac leaders, please.
Yes.
I need it. And like even Caleb with
Caleb and Jed
either. Listen, anyone, either or, but Jed and Ralph was kind of like it for me. Season 1, when they had the little fight, I was like, oh, just kiss. Stop. I was like, y'all know you're not kidding. Y'all playing games right now. It's fine.
Well, and then they kind of fueled the flames with that when Jed was asking about Rock in 210.
Oh, I gotta rewatch and investigate. She's asking about his
kind of like, oh, that would be right. A really cute relationship.
If they give that to us, it might be like top ship right there. If I'm being honest, top 3. Because I just need more development before they do with it, though. Because wasn't Jed dating Alyssa, and now he's like not with her, something like that.
He's fighting with Caleb over her.
Listen, him and Caleb can have like that little fighting dynamic, but Ralph and Jed is the goal right now. Give us some, Ralph can have a steady relationship.
I love whenever the triangle, like, whenever they're like tracking the matching like golden moth or whatever, trying to find the arsenal that was stolen from the school, and Jed and Caleb and MG are in the woods.
Oh yeah.
So I must be cute or something.
I was yeah. I need more of them. Like that trio was funny.
Caleb and Jed have such a fun relationship, like just the banter back and forth, and then them trying to like best each other with the singing.
Because it was, because it's like you're supposed to be like emotional because of like MG giving this speech about Lizzie, whatever, or like everybody's giving this emotional speech. You're supposed to be like, crying, and then you have them singing, battling each other, and I'm just out of it. I'm just like, why are y'all doing this at a funeral? A little funeral get together. Caleb was like,
I think it was funny that no one noticed that Hope was completely different than what she normally is.
Yeah, because she got up and was like, thank you for whatever that was, and I was just like, now you know.
The hat alone. The hat.
You have to know that's not Hope. That is not Hope. Like,
right, and Hope.
Just the way she's
out here with the decorations.
Hope was out here going over the extreme for a funeral that wasn't hers, and nobody's like.
That goes to show you just how well or just how much Hope actually interacts with people at the school, because she doesn't. The only people that truly know her are Landon and Lizzie. Like, truly know her.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. I loved 205. Just seeing 205 in regards to
the Hizzy stuff.
Oh yes, that was also.
Yeah.
That was finally like the closure. Oh my god.
I am in love with their friendship.
Yeah.
Hope and Lizzie's friendship.
Yeah.
I just love it.
First one from
Oh.
who was a good move.
And I want a Landon and Lizzie friendship.
Yes, it needs to happen.
Their banter is hilarious to me, cause like Landon he'd be lost. He'd be like, all right, especially when Hope came for his outfit. He was like, I'm living a lie. I was like, I'm sorry, son. He was wearing a school
Lizzie's
uniform.
just like, no, that was all me.
Yeah, she's like, it's actually me coming for you. Wow.
The three of them as a friendship, like a best friendship. Yeah, I'm there for it.
I deserve it. You know, especially them and MG as well. Them two, them four at that matter. That's what I deserve. Especially some Landon and MG, especially what happened last time when MG killed Landon. You know, we never know if they're friends or anything. They don't even talk. It's kind of sad. It's like he killed them and then he was like, bye. See you never. So,
hey,
that's sad.
As long as Hope and Landon stay happy and together.
Yeah, whatever happens, happens.
I'm good.
Wow. I mean, listen, we can have Landon and Hope, but you know, can I get some Jed and Ralph? I'm making a petition.
Oh.
Give me my excellence, please. Give us anything. And even bring us Maya.
I have one question for you guys before you go or whatever. But I was wondering, like, do you guys think the writers like listen to you guys? Like, do you think they like take into account like what you guys are? Because I always wonder if they look through like the Twitterverse and like try to figure out if there's any things that they. Because I think a lot of people wanted Dark Josie to happen and then it did, and like I just kind of wondered, like, do you guys think that they kind of take into account fans' perspective, or do you think it's solely just like what their vision is?
I think sometimes. I think it's half and half. So.
I'm gonna say I hope not, because
the demand.
It's definitely half and half. You can tell with like the other shows.
Half and half.
Because there's a lot of hatred on Twitter, and I really, really hope that the people behind that hatred don't get rewarded for being so toxic.
Actually, I feel like they already did. Like some of the stuff that I feel like with season 1, they really couldn't take people's perspectives. So they already had their driven motive. But then with season 2, you can definitely see some like random fan service ways that didn't make sense or that was out of place. I feel like even without like people may have recommended, oh, you should bring this person back. I feel like when they brought the guest stars back, it was kind of random. Like with Kai, we knew he was coming, so it wasn't like a shocker. But when Freya came back, it was like kind of like, oh, let me just bring people in because you really didn't even get a chance to see her, and you only saw her with Josie, which kind of correlated to her getting the kind of the spell. But we didn't have Hope and Freya. We only had one scene, and I feel like with some of the stuff, it can contribute to already accepting what people want. But I'm hoping that it doesn't get to the point where they're looking for us for plot ideas.
Maybe like little things. Like they can take little things. It's not like the big plot lines. Like I think the writers should just keep that.
Yeah, like they confirmed that, you know, Hope is bi. Like they confirmed, like we've been asking for that and they gave us that and they confirmed that. I feel like they only take like certain things, I guess, of like if it benefits characters in development or whatever. But if it's plot wise, I don't know, because I haven't seen any crazy like plot lines that were taken besides like Dark Josie and bringing a heretic Lizzie or whatever the case may be. Because people have been demanding like for the Vampire Diary characters to come back, such as like Stephanie Salvatore. Like people have been talking about that, and I mean they gave us some cute little mentions, such as like in season 1 with the watch when Lizzie did the wish. What was it? The wish Hope was never born. 10. Yeah. And when they did the little cameo of Damon Carr in season 2, when was it episode 8 when Lizzie was on a road trip to get Landon?
Yeah.
So I feel like they do like little like kind of cameos or something like that. But I don't know. I hope they don't go over the extreme to benefit the viewers. That's how we ramble. Like we ramble a lot when it comes to podcasts because we talk pretty much through Instagram, and like the only time we actually talk is when we do like our podcast somewhat. So that's like when we actually can get our frustration out, because this has been months of people attacking us for a while. It's not even like we're the most bullied in the fandom, actually. and like we're the most bullied out of all. Like the Holdies, the Hizzies, the Posies. Like sometimes they even team up and be like, oh yeah, well, if Landon and Hope is such epic love, then why did Landon leave her? And get to throw that in their face. And then I'm like, well, Josie let Lizzie hate Hope for years about a damn letter. So I mean, you really want to get into that? No. Suppose that's
the thing is there are problematic handins. We're not saying that. It's just we try to be as positive as we possibly can. We're just here loving our shit. We're not hating on characters.
Right, and that's incredible. Like, I respect you guys so much, and I think that, like, what you're doing and your motives behind what you're doing is just, like, so awesome, and I think it's, like, especially what's needed, because I wasn't familiar with, you know, all the hate, because I'm not, you know, on, like, you know, Stan Twitter and stuff, so, like, I had no idea that it was that bad and stuff, so it just makes me respect you guys even more, because, I mean, like, you know, everybody needs an outlet. I mean, like, Legacies is an outlet for a lot of people, so I'm sure that your show is an outlet for a lot of people as well, which is really important, really cool too.
Yeah.
We honestly, like, when we started it, we were just like, would chat like this in our group chat. Like, it was just regular talk for us, and it was every day, and it was just kind of like, hey, let's start a podcast. You know?
Yeah, and even when we started our podcast, the Holds still like, they're not gonna make it, or anyways, hope the podcast gets canceled. Like they were. Totally positive. They were like,
that you guys are on episode 15. Like,
and it was just like, we don't know if anyone's gonna listen to us. We don't know if anyone's gonna even like want us to continue, or you know. But the feedback that we've gotten from this is just so amazing. And then having you and our other guests, and like it just like. Opening up this whole new world for us is just so amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing learning like other people behind the screen as well, and like getting closer to the legacies, regardless of not having content at all. The fact that we get to talk to you guys about your experience is encouraging as well, because some of us do want to get into like the acting and the filming industry, or just want to get closer to how the perfection is made on set, and for us to even get that insight. It's the best thing every week. Like,
and even having like your guys' little stories and like just, you know, the fun that you have and everything. I mean, I know that people who listen really enjoy these episodes just because we don't get to see behind the scenes. So like having your perspective is just really cool.
Right.
Yeah, it paints a narrative of how like friendly and welcoming behind the scenes is, and how the acting is, and how the cast is like a big family. And we don't really get to see that a lot. We get to see like little snippets from Insta stories from the cast members, but that's it. And right now, since we're on hiatus, you know, a lot of them are kind of not in the scenes. And the fact that we're getting to see through your eyes and get your funny stories, it definitely kind of, it fills me. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting content, you know? So.
And we're lucky because we get to talk to you guys. Like, and then like, it's just, we get to do this, and the people watching us is kind of like, well, that's really cool. Like, you know, I want to do something like that, or I want to talk to them, or, you know.
Well, I think like we're definitely the lucky ones, because like, you know, for you guys to reach out and, you know, want to know more about kind of what we do. I think a lot of people don't, you know, ever really appreciate background, and, you know, obviously that's very understandable, and I don't have anything against anybody that, you know, doesn't, but you know, there's times when we're on set for like, you know, 14 hours, and like, you know, we definitely do work really hard, and we do you know, try our best to like bring, you know, something to the show. I mean, especially, you know, the people that you've had on the show, like Amon and Nicole and Zoe and stuff like that, just because, you know, like we're all so passionate and dedicated, and so it feels nice too to just kind of like, what's that Twitter meme or whatever, it's like, I feel seen or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like that type of thing too. So yeah.
Well, we really hope that we get to talk to as many people as we can.
Yeah.
And the 4 people I follow, which is you and the others you mentioned, are pretty much the only ones I've talked to. So I mean, I got to put some feelers out with everyone else. But you know, it would be really nice to have, you know, talk to more people and just kind of kind of see like the array of characters that Legacies really does actually have on their set, even if you aren't necessarily seen as often.
Right, and I'm sure there's like some makeup artists and costumers out there that would totally come on too, like, you know, that would talk to you guys, like, for sure. I mean, because everyone's just so nice, so I would imagine somebody. You know,
I have reached out. I have reached out to like Anne and Elijah, who plays Wade, and a couple of other people, but because we're not like, they don't follow me or I don't, you know, whatever, they don't normally see the messages, so I'm just kind of like hoping that they see the messages and just kind of read it and realize that we're not trying to get anything out of them. We just want to talk to them about kind of their experiences, and like we're not asking for spoilers. We're not asking for any of that stuff. Yeah. We just want. There's lots of people out there who's really interested in like what kind of happens behind the scenes. So to speak to Anne about how she dresses like all of you guys would be so much fun.
Phenomenal. I can't even wrap my brain around how she manages everything, because not only does she do the main cast and background, but she also does the creatures, and, you know, she works with the special effects team, and it's insane, you know, and to just really hone in on all of their own aesthetics, because every character has their own, you know, aesthetic that they bring with their fashion and stuff, and she constantly keeps that up and stuff. She's just really cool.
Yeah, I would love to pick her brain about that. That would be that would be such a fun episode to talk to her and just kind of see what inspires her.
I would definitely tune in. I mean, I tune in anyways, but I would definitely tune in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I do want to talk to Elijah too, because he seems like a really funny guy.
Right, yeah. Very chill, very cool.
Yeah. And he's good representation for the show too. Like, he's not your typical character.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? So
I love Wade. I think Wade is definitely like a breath of fresh air anytime he's in an episode. Like, you know, he makes it like, if there's a really heavy, serious situation going on, he just definitely brings a light in, you know, like, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Sam.
Sam, you joined us.
Right, she said
I've been here.
She gave us some dialogue, you know.
Well, it's 9:00 for me, so I can only imagine how late it is for you guys.
Yes, it's, you know, about to be 12. It's about to be the next day.
We could talk for hours, but we won't. We won't. So we'll have to have you back on and talk some more on another episode.
Anytime. I'm so down.
Yes, we'd love to see you.
Well, this was a lot of fun, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Luck with the rest of everything. I can't wait to following you on everything.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Arlon said bye. Bye. Come on.
Come on. You guys call me out for everything. It's ridiculous.
Okay. Go to bed.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Who's gonna do the outro this time? Arlon, you can do the outro.
What? Sam can do the outro. Sam can do the outro.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and buy some merch.
Yes, and we have new merch. Link in the description.
Oh, new designs too?
Yeah, designs. It's actually us. Yep. It's actually us.
And Bitmoji phone.
If you're a fan of Steel and Bases.
Oh yeah, that too. Steel and Bases merch.
Go and get that.
Cop it.
Just go buy everything.
Cop it. Buy it.
Listen, Robyn's on chapter 50, y'all. I could never. That's dedication.
She's not even doing it. Sorry.
Well, we have more chapters, but.
Did you throw a shot at me?
What did you say?
Okay. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Hampton weekly content. And also, you know, we have Instagram. What's going to be in the description? Hampton Weekly for ideas, when new episode updates, and also content updates. We also have fan fictions on AO3 And we're also on Twitter, so you can get your fan fictions because we're on overdrive. And plus, you might as well rack up because school is about to kick in gear next week.
Yeah, we all.
Our next episode, Penelope. Ask questions.
Yes,
in the comments.
Penelope is next week, so make sure to definitely DM us. We're gonna make a poll and on Twitter and also on Instagram for you to ask your questions. Make sure we're giving you guys basically a week and a half in advance. So you know.
By the time this comes out.
Yeah, by the time it comes out.
I'm feeling annoyed, so go on Twitter and tag Brett and Julie and ask people that
make sure to keep the Handed Weekly hashtag, Handed in-game excellence.
8 hours of chemistry screen, so just go ask.
We need it.
Yeah.
The fact that I even said it like we wasn't going to ask for it, demented.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, we can end the podcast. Okay, Arlon, you can stop the recording right now.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Okay.